So in today's lesson, 2 Kings chapter 5, we learn a pretty important lesson. So first, we have the person whose name is Naaman. Now, Naaman, he was the captain of the army of the king of Aram, and he was a very strong and reliable soldier. However, he had a disease. He had a disease called leprosy. Does anyone know what leprosy is? Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Very good. You're very smart, Peyton. Okay, so leprosy it's a type of skin disease. So you start getting like very itchy, like all over your body, and your skin just starts to peel off. It's very disgusting. And it can get so strong and so bad where you can start losing your hand, your legs, and other limbs on your body. So, yeah, Naaman had leprosy. And then there was someone named Elisha. And this person viewed Naaman very favorably. And basically he said, you should maybe see Jesus because I think Jesus can do something about your disease. And Naaman went to meet Jesus. And now let me say that Naaman was not a perfect person. He was not a perfect person by any means. He had a lot of flaws about him. So first of all, he was impatient. And when he first met Jesus, he was expecting Jesus to just put his hand over Naaman like this and say, you are now cured. And when Elisha sent a messenger to Naaman saying that you need to go into the Jordan River and cleanse yourself, Naaman thought Jesus was crazy. Naaman said, what is this? Like, is this really who I think he is? Is he really the higher being that I thought he was? So because of this, Naaman got very angry and he walked away in rage. However, even though Naaman was not a perfect person, he had a good heart. He was open to reason. He was willing to listen. And he listened to what his servant said. His servant said, maybe you should go back to Jesus and try this. And he also acknowledged God as the only God in his life. And after that, he decided to give this another chance. He went back to the Jordan River, and he dipped into the Jordan River 7 times. And then all of a sudden, his disease went away. And because of this, Naaman was very thankful to Elisha, and he brought lots of money and clothing back to Elisha to give. And during this, Elisha refused Naaman's gift. Elisha said, no, that's very gracious of you, but I don't need your gifts. And then there's another person in this story whose name was Gehazi, and Gehazi was a servant of Elisha. So I should say Gehazi was a very smart person. However, he always had an ulterior motive. He realized that because Elisha refused the gifts of Naaman, he can maybe lie. He can lie to Naaman and say, Elisha actually sent me to collect the gifts that you brought. So because Naaman was such a good person, he believed Gehazi, and then he gave those gifts to Gehazi. Now, Elisha thought something was strange when the servant Gehazi came back. And Elisha asked Gehazi, so where were you? And Gehazi was very dishonest. He lied, and he said, oh, I didn't go anywhere. And Gehazi all of a sudden had a bunch of money in his life, and he had a bunch of clothes in his life. So after this, Jesus, of course, knew Gehazi was a liar, and he punished Gehazi severely. And because of this, even though we learned that Naaman was healed of leprosy, Gehazi got leprosy in his life, and it wasn't just Gehazi, it was his family and his generations to come that all suffer from the same disease. So I have a story in my personal life. Should we ever lie, everyone? Should we ever lie? Should we ever be dishonest? No, probably not. Because what good things will come when we are liars in our lives? So when I was in, I believe, middle school, I don't know how middle school is these days, but when I was in middle school, my mom used to give me money every day to buy lunch. So, of course, I was not buying lunch. I was using that money to save for a video game. So every day, I did not eat lunch, and until I got enough money to save up for that game I wanted, I was not eating. And now my mom found out. She went into my room one day, and she saw a very expensive game. And she said, where did you get that? And I said, nowhere. And of course, she knew, somehow she knew, I don't know why, but she knew that I was not eating my lunch. And because of that, she did not let me play games for 1 week. And that was very difficult for me. Anyone else? Has there ever been a time in your life where you lied and you suffered severely for it? How about you, Cameron? Have you ever lied in your life? Never? Oh, you are a very, very honest person. So, in conclusion, we have learned that we should be honest, and God, He sees everyone. So God oversees people who are very honest. So, like Naaman, like I said, was not a perfect person. He had flaws. However, what was more important was he saw God as the only God in his life, and he was willing to listen. And God sees other types of people like Gehazi, who are very self-centered, who might be smart, but he has an ulterior motive, and he only thinks about what's good for him. So let's be very honest people in our lives and make sure we are not liars, everyone.